Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So today we're going to be making this heart pillow. Isn't it cute? And it's quite big. It is quite a large pillow, as you can tell by my hand size. So let's get started. We get our 2 pieces of yarn. And we're just going to do a slip knot. I'm using a 7 hook, which doesn't have a letter associated to it. It's just a 7. And we're going to chain 3. So we're starting from the tip and we're working our way up for this pillow. So in the first chain that you made, you're going to put 3 single crochets. You're going to chain 1 and you're going to turn. You're going to put 2 single crochets in the first stitch. You're going to put a single crochet in this stitch, and you're going to put 2 single crochets in your last stitch. So this is our increase. This is how we're going to be increasing. You're going to chain 1 and you're going to turn. Now you're just going to do single crochet, 1 in each, all the way across. You chain 1 and turn. You're going to put 2 single crochets into the first stitch. This is our increase row. Single crochet, 1 in each till you get to the last stitch, and then in your last stitch, oh great, I have a knot, and then in your last stitch you're going to put 2. You're going to chain 1 and you're going to turn. Then you're going to put single crochet in each, 1 in each, all the way across for row 4. Make sure you're going through 2 pieces. Not sure why this one's so tight all of a sudden. But it happens. Chain 1, turn your work. Row 5 is an increase row, so you're going to put 2 in the first one and 2 in the last one, and then single crochet all the way over. And 2 in the last one. Uh-oh. Ooh, crisis averted. So 2 in the last one. Chain 1, turn your work. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then a little guy at the back here that's twisted. So 9. So what did we just do? An increase row, row number 6. is going to just be a regular single crochet. So you kind of get the pattern. We're going normal row, increase row, normal row, increase row. So now we're on an increase row. Just going to get my row marker to keep track. I'm on row 7, which is an increase row. So 2 in this hole, single crochet across to the last hole, and the last hole gets 2, chain 1, turn your work, and row 8 is just going to be a regular row. And then 2 in this last stitch, the oddball stitch. Chain 1, turn your work, increase row, for row 9, so 2 in there, 1 in each all the way across, and then 2 in the last. Chain 1 and turn your work. Row 10 is going to be a regular row. So chain 1 and turn your work. Row 11 is going to be an increase row. Chain 1, turn your work. So far this is what it looks like. So row 11 is just going to be a regular. And make sure you're getting this one right on the end, this stitch. Chain 1, turn your work. This is an increase row. And 2 in the last one. Chain 1, turn your work. Row 14 is just a regular row. Chain 1, turn your work. Row 15 is an increase row. And 2 in the last one. Chain 1, turn your work. Row 16 is just a regular. Sorry, my camera died. We are on row 16 for just a straight single crochet row. And don't forget this guy at the end. The pain in the butt guy at the end. Chain 1 and turn your work. So we're on row 17, which is an increase row. That's how speedy this project is. Just like that, we're on row 17. It's so quick, so quick. And 2 in the end. Chain 1, turn your work. Row 18 is going to be a normal row. So for those that are working ahead of me, we are going to row 30. So you should have 33 stitches across at row 30. If you wanted to work ahead of me, every other row is going to be an increase row. Chain 1, turn your work. Row 19 is an increase row. Getting a little more awkward to hold. Chain 1, turn your work. Row 20 is going to be a regular row. Chain one, turn your work. So there's not too many holes. You're not going to be able to see a whole lot of stuffing through, but you're going to be able to see some of the white stuffing through. But if you got some felt and some fabric glue, and you cut out the felt, the shape of a heart, and you put it in there, then that should just solve the problem. So row 21 is going to be an increase. And 2 at the end. Chain 1, turn your work. So row 22 is just going to be a regular row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 25 stitches is what I have right now. So row 22 is just a regular row. Chain 1 and turn your work. Row 23 is an increase row. And 2 in the last hole. Chain 1, turn your work. Row 24, no rest for the wicked. Let's go. It's just a regular row. Chain 1, turn your work. Row 25 is an increase row. And 2 in the last one. And chain 1, turn your work. So row 26, we're just about done. We're going up to row 30, and then we're going to start our humps. So row 26 is just going to be regular row. Chain 1, turn your work. Row 27, you guessed it, increase row. Two in this hole, which I almost didn't do. Chain one, turn your work. $28, it's just a regular row. Chain one, turn your work. I had 31 stitches when I counted. So if you don't, that's okay. I'll show you how to split up the humps with whatever number that you have. Hopefully it works out. It's beginner friendly, so I mean, if you screw up, you screw up. Row 29 is going to be an increase row, which should give me 33 stitches. So 2 in the first hole. And 2 in the last stitch. Chain 1, turn your work. So you should have 33 across. We've got one more row of just single crochets before we start our humps. But if you don't have 33 across, you need to have, to do the humps, you need an even number. So a 33 across and then skipping one in the middle gives me 32. So I'm able to split up 16 and 16 for my humps. So whatever number you have right now, if you've dropped or added along the way accidentally, whatever number you have should be an odd number, because you're going to skip the middle. The humps are not going to, there's going to be a skipped stitch in the middle for your humps, which brings your number down to an even number, and then you can divide that by 2 to know how many you have to come in for your humps. So if you don't have 33, that's how you fix the problem. So this last row, if you have to add or take away a stitch or whatever to make it the number you need, you can do it in this row. It won't be noticeable. So just straight single crochet all the way across. So this is row 30. So chain 1. So if you need to count your rows and you're not really sure how to do that, you can use the end. So each, if I lay this flat, each one of these is comprised of 2 rows of single crochets. So if you can tell on here, that's 1 row, that's 2 rows. So each one of these is comprised of 2 single crochets. So you just go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 2, 4, 6, 8, and 30. So that's how you count your rows. You can see it better on this side. So I'll just show you that again. Hopefully you can see it okay. But put my hand behind it. That and that are 2 rows. So you can even go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can count them like that. But I just generally go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, you know. So that's how you know. So let's start our humps. So chain 1 and turn. I think I already chained 1. Yes, I've already chained 1. So I have 33 stitches. So I am going to single crochet 16. So that's 16. So I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to turn. And then I'm just going to single crochet across another 16. Chain 1, turn your work, so this is going to be our decrease row, so we got to start bringing the hump in. So the first 2, I'm going to reset my counter. So the first 2, you're going to crochet together, and you're going to single crochet all the way back down. So you have 2 left, and then you're going to single crochet those 2 together. You're going to chain 1 and turn. Row 4 is another decrease row. So you're going to do the same thing. You're going to crochet 2 together. You're going to do regular. All the way down till you have 2 left. So I have 2 left, and I'm going to single crochet those 2 together. Chain 1, turn your work. So rows 5 and 6 are just going to be single crochets all the way across. Chain 1, turn your work, and do the same thing. Single crochet, chain 1, turn your work. So row 7 and 8 are both going to be decreased rows. So you're going to crochet the first two together. And the last two, you're going to single crochet together. Chain 1, there you work. And the last two you're going to single crochet together. Chain 1, turn your work. Row 9 is just going to be simply single crochet. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8. Chain 1, turn your work. Okay guys, row 10 is our last row, and then we're going to have to reconnect again to do the other hump. So in your first stitch, you're just going to do a slip stitch. The next stitch is going to be a half double crochet. The next 3 stitches are each going to be, the next 4 stitches are going to be each double crochets. One in each hole. Then the next stitch is going to be a half double crochet. And then the next stitch is going to be a slip stitch. And that finishes off our first hump. So you're going to have to fasten off. Turn your work over. To just make a slip stitch, or however you make one for your hook, but make the slip stitch. But if you have to use your hook to do it, take it off the hook and just set it down. Skip this stitch here and go into the next stitch. Attach your slip knot, and you can pull that through, and then you're still going to do a single crochet in that same hole, and you're going to single crochet 16 all the way across, or whatever number you have. Chain 1, turn your work, you're going to repeat single crochet all the way across, chain 1, turn your work, rows 3 and 4 are going to be decrease rows, so single crochet 2 together, oh sorry, decrease row, single crochet the last 2 together, chain 1, turn your work, and your next row 4 decrease row. What is this crap on my yarn? You guys ever get that crap? And single crochet these 2 together. Chain 1, turn your work. Be a big pillow. So the next 2 rows are just 5 and 6 are just going to be single crochets. Chain 1, turn your work. And 6 is just a single crochet. chain one, turn your work. So we start to decrease. So row 7 and 8, the next two rows are going to be decrease rows. So row 7, single crochet the first two together, and the last two together. Chain one, turn your work. Row 8, same thing. Single crochet the first two together, and the last two together. Chain one, turn your work. Single crochet, that's 8. Chain one, turn your work, and your last row, thankfully, because I'm losing my voice again, is a slip stitch, a half double crochet, I skipped a stitch. Let's try that again in the first stitch. Oops. Don't have to put both loops on. Alright, let's try this again. In the first stitch, you're going to slip stitch. Then you're going to half double crochet. Then in the next 4, you're going to double crochet in one in each. Then you're going to half double crochet in the next stitch, and you're going to slip stitch into the last stitch. Chain one. Now don't fasten off. So now we are going to single crochet all around the whole entire piece. So ultimately, it's going, if you see that, it's going to have this nice edge on it, if you can see that. So that's what we're going to do now. So it's just going to, it's a way cleaner edge than this. It's going to look way better. So, single crochet around the entire perimeter of your heart, the entire thing, even down here in the middle, everything. When you get back to where you started, just do a slip stitch and you can fasten off. Then you can tuck all your little bits in, which I haven't done yet for this one, but you can tuck all your little bits in. When you do the bottom, you can put 2 or 3 single crochets right into the bottom, just to keep that point. And then I'll put the pause screen up so you can make your second one, so it'll have the pattern on it. And I'll meet you back here after that's all done and we can crochet it together and we can fill it. Alright, so I'm all done. So I just need to tuck my ends away. So both sides look good. Doesn't really matter which one you choose to be the middle or not the middle. So I don't know, it doesn't really matter. They kind of both look the same. Anyway, decide how you want this. So, praying to God you have the same amount of stitches so you don't get any bunching. You're going to take your 2 pieces of yarn, you're going to make a slip knot just like you did before. Make your slip knot for your hook and then take it off. Find your starting point, wherever you want to start. Put your slip knot on. You're going to pull through, single crochet. Then you're going to go back in and you're going to put another single crochet into that same space, just for added security. And then you're going to go stitch for stitch, single crochet in this bad boy together until you have enough to get some stuffing in. Just make sure you go stitch for stitch, because if you don't go stitch for stitch, you're going to end up with bunching, and you don't want bunching. I mean, if it's a small, like if you skip one, or you know, it's not going to be huge, but going stitch for stitch, you're not going to have any of that. I forgot to tuck that in. Oh no, that's from what I just did. Oh my good lord. So I'm going to do some of this with you, but just for time constraints on the video, I'm not going to do all of it with you. Or actually, I'll probably do both. Speed it up. Okay, I've got this much left, so I'm going to start with my stuffing. a big pillow. So make sure you get all the way down to the bottom. I'm sure you know how to stuff something. Okay, so I think I'm going to sew that up a little bit more, and then maybe we'll see. I don't want to overstuff it, and then we'll see if I'm going to need more or not. Hard to do when you got a camera right here. So I'm gonna let you go, and I'm gonna meet you back here after. The struggle is real, my friends. So once you're back up and around where you started, you can just slip stitch into that first thing you did, and you can fasten off. Pull your knot tight. Put a couple in the middle there. So now you just move your stuff around, because you'll have to get it up into where you just did. Make sure it's all up into the corner. So you can play with your stuffing and move it around and shape your pillow and all that to make it so. Lost my needle. I can just hide these guys away. Tuck them into tuck them down into here so nobody can really see it. Won't really be noticeable. And there's a slip knot on this one, so I doubt it's going to go anywhere. I'm just going to cut it down so it's even at the top. So I doubt it's going to go anywhere. You could snip it off. I'm not a big fan of just snipping it off. I like to weave it in, because even though there's a knot, it still might wiggle its way undone. So there we have it. I got fuzz everywhere now. So it's hard to see on camera here, but it looks like the pillow in the beginning of the video. So you can just play with it to get your stuffing around up into your humps, stuff like that. But thanks for joining me, guys. I'll see you in the next video.